Students, there is another important terminology in this chapter called decentralization. We have already discussed delegation as the process which is one of the key elements for effective organizing, but similarly, very much similar to that process of delegation, there is also another concept called decentralization. And when in simple words you can remember that delegation till the lowest levels of management is called decentralization, where the decision making authority is distributed widely till the lowest level of organization in the hierarchical chain. So this concept is also well talked about in the one of the principles of Henry Fayol as centralization and decentralization, where it was said that any organization runs with a mix of centralization and decentralization. While some powers should be delegated to the lower levels, the ultimate authority of few important decisions must lie upon the top managers. So an organization can never completely be decentralized or be centralized, but as it grows in size, there is enhancement in the complexity too, and there is a tendency to move towards decentralized decision making. So this is the importance of this process. Now let us see that how we can memorize the points under its importance. For remembering this, students, you must learn another acronym with GTD CRI. Now it is very unrelated. See students, acronyms, these letters have been taken with all the keywords as present in the different points. There is no binding on you that you have to remember this only, but to make the work easier, I have come up with a few suggestions to help you memorize. If you think that there are more familiar words to you in which you can remember them, it's well and good, you can follow your own steps. But here we can remember it as a short story that you have gone to the teacher in the school and the teacher says to go to the classroom immediately. So teacher has told the student to go to the classroom immediately. So this is a short story which you can remember and which will help you memorize the importance of the process of decentralization, which is one of the biggest and most important question from this topic, which definitely can be asked for 6 marks. Growth aspect, that decentralization facilitates growth of any organization, because with decentralization greater autonomy comes with the lowest level of management, and this allows the manager, the entire body of organization to accomplish its tasks in a fruitful manner, and it fosters a sense of competition amongst the departments, and each department is competent enough, the departments become empowered enough to take their decisions that can lead to enhancement of the productivity levels in the organization and ultimately accomplishment of the common organizational goals. So this is G, growth. Then we have to talk about the point T, which represents that decentralization process leads to ultimate development of managerial talent for the future. This point was also talked about in the process of delegation, but here with decentralization the subordinates become more equipped to take decisions and they get more autonomy for handling the assignments independently and giving them a chance to prove their abilities and also to showcase their qualities that they possess. It might be in the hidden or latent form, but ultimately it comes when they are given some opportunity to show their talents. So the third point, go to the classroom. D can be taken for the. So D is nothing but decision making, which in the management hierarchy, if we see the chain of communication in the decentralized form, what happens is the decisions are taken at various levels and therefore the response is quicker, the decision speed reduces, it enhances, and the difficulty is overcome when we have the concept of decentralization running at different levels. Now decisions are taken at levels which are the nearest to the points of action and hence avoiding the delays and unnecessary difficulties in overcoming a particular problem. So this was regarding go to the classroom. Next in line is C and an R. So C represents control, that delegation, decentralization leads to a better control at each level because every department can function individually for accomplishment of the departmental goals as well as to get the overall objectives of the organization achieved. Now R is represented with the word relief to the top management. With decentralization in picture, the top managers are more free, they get freedom to work on their own, and with this they also get more and more time to devote to the important policy decisions and relieving their time from doing the routine tasks that can be delegated, and the task can be assigned to the subordinates. Now I, the last letter, is representing the point of initiatives that are taken by the employees when decentralization works in an organization. So it says that develops initiative among the subordinates because through the process of decentralization, self-reliance and confidence are promoted amongst the employees. Here lowest level managers, they also get freedom to take their own decisions and based on their own judgments. So they are empowered and they get the feeling, their morale is boosted and they take steps as initiatives in the organization because they are well aware that management is trusting them and giving them the full freedom to take the decisions. So now let us get back, students, to see a few questions that have come from this topic of importance of decentralization over the years, and in this it's a case based question. So state any 5 points of importance that have been highlighted in the case study, and let us see that which concept, which philosophy has been talked about in this particular question. An important difference between S&M Limited and the most other companies is that instead of operating as one large corporation, it operates as 180 smaller companies, each focused on a specific product and area, implying selective dispersal of authority. So this company called S&M Limited, students, is working as 180 smaller companies and not as a big company. Company S&M Limited is applying the selective dispersal of authority method, recognizing the decision maker's need for autonomy. As decision making authority is pushed down the chain of command, it enables the company to maintain short lines of communication with customers and employees and accelerate the development of the talent. So you see, students, a very important concept has been talked about. With dispersal of authority, we simply mean decentralization, because dispersal means widespread delegation of authority till the lowest level. So it leads to shorter lines of communication and development of managerial talent, as we talked about. So identify the philosophy that is being followed by S&M Limited, through which it is dividing the decision making responsibilities among the hierarchical levels, means different hierarchical levels have been talked about. So it is asking about the philosophy identified is nothing but decentralization, and then we are supposed to give the importance of decentralization, which we can easily recall as GTD CRI. Go to the classroom immediately, that way you can recall it and write according to the NCERT points. Thank you.